Aaron, welcome to the Appauling Podcast.
It's nice to be here. It's a really nice studio, to be honest.
Thank you very much.
Better than I thought it would be.
What did you think coming in?
I thought, wow, it's like you're in the middle of a city and then you go into this cube of just opulence. It's beautiful in it. Whoever gets to be a guest on this show is not going to be disappointed.
Nice. And then I switched the lights on. What is this?
You got a poster of Sidhu. I love a bit of Sidhu.
Who doesn't love a bit of Sidhu? Come on.
I was literally listening to Neverfold.
Best one.
As I pulled up to the...
Really? So, okay, before we get into it, who are you, Aaron? And why are you on this podcast? What are you here to represent?
What a question. Where do I begin? So I'm the co-founder of Singh Beans UK. It's a coffee company, coffee label that originates in Canada. We launched a month after, and the brand was almost a throwaway comment. So Umbi from Canada, Singh Beans Canada, he came over during a tough time in his life for New Year's. And we started talking about how we could raise money for charity. He had a passion for muscular dystrophy because of his friend that passed away. And he wanted to do something. And I used to own a cafe at the time. And I gave him a throwaway comment of, we should sell coffee beans and do something like that. And he went away, spoke to his brother and Jagdeep, who's the designer behind it. And they created the brand. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it in the UK. And yeah, we launched. So me and two of my friends launched it here. And yeah, it became what it is now. We launched it to just sort of just dip our toe into coffee. I was a massive coffee fan. And it worked. People loved it. We had a few video shoots and photography shoots, and that really like launched us. And then it ended up on I'm Just Beastie, if you know what that is. And that was it. It was just massive overnight. And then we've gained so many great followers and influencers. We made it to MTV Cribs. Wes Nelson, he did a little clip. And we've gone to the Oval with a friend of ours who's a cricketer. And we've had Seat Colouring, who's an avid subscriber of our coffee. She's actually got a coffee machine and everything. She's learning how to be a barista like me. So yeah, we've done a lot, and it's affected your life a little bit as well, from what I know. So yeah, like it's changed a lot of people's lives, which is what we wanted to do. We've raised a lot of money for charity, but recently we've been donating to local causes as well, not just Khalsa Aid. So when we do a massive drive, we'll donate to Khalsa Aid, which is part of the Singh Beans branding, the Singh Beans ethos, which is Duswand. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of community events. We recently did a boxing event with Khalsa Academy, and there's a few more in the pipeline as well. So
nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's Singh Beans.
That's nice. You know, like I said, I grew up with you. So for me, it was, I know you as Aaron. And then I went with you to one of your stalls where you put up a coffee stall, like a stand.
That was our first one when you built the stand.
That's right.
Yeah. That was our first ever show.
So I went there with you, and I wasn't really convinced that you was a coffee connoisseur. Like, I didn't really think that you was obsessed with coffee to the point of what you are. So when I first went there with you, I just thought you're really excited about the business side of things. Like, oh, I have a coffee brand. I'm loving just selling coffee. Until that one moment when a random uncle showed up and he said, oh, what's this? Like, is there so much flavor? Why is there so much flavor? And it's so amazing to see someone that is so passionate, but it takes over them. You lost your cool and you pulled a handful of beans. You just threw it out and you were like, see that bean there, that honey roasted, that color. And the uncle's like, yeah. You see that one there? Yeah. You see this one? Taste this, put this in your mouth. And you had the uncle trying just raw beans. And that's when I looked at you then, I realized, I said, yeah, he's got a passion for coffee. And like the sacrilege that I did was when we were on our way home. It was such a long day. We're driving home, and obviously you can't make the way you make coffee with your expertise in the car. I needed coffee. I was falling asleep. So I was like, should we just go Costa? And you just looked at me like, how dare you? What are you doing? I was like, okay, relax. Until I tried your coffee and I realized there's a reason why you're obsessed with your coffee, man. It is truly amazing. I ain't going to lie.
the reason I found that offensive is you spent literally 6 hours of the day watching me explain to everybody why our coffee is so good and why Costa and Starbucks are kind of like the entry level, and you chose them over me.
No, okay, so let's get into it. Your coffee,
Yeah.
Singh Beans coffee, and let's not pick any company. Let's just say off the shelf. Yeah. What's the in terms of taste, quality? Okay. What's the difference, and why is there a difference?
Oh God, this is a rabbit hole.
Off the top of your head, like if you had to, like in layman's terms, not in advanced coffee lab terms.
This is what I'm trying to see. My brain works on that level, so I'm trying to figure out how to explain that in layman's terms. Okay, think of coffee as like music.
Okay.
So off the shelf is your pop music. Everyone kind of likes it. It goes with the flow. Everyone can drink it. But if you're into music, you're not going to listen to pop music. You're going to listen to people that are good musicians, good bands. And it's the same. Singh Beans is a band or a live orchestra. And only people that appreciate that type of music or / coffee will appreciate Singh Beans. People that listen to pop music will also appreciate someone singing live, like an orchestra or whatnot. But they're used to pop music. So Nescafe, your Kenkos, until they've tried live music, until they've tried Singh Beans, they're going to stick to what they know. But then coffee is one of those things. There's so many different flavors, so many different genres, that there's something for everybody, I think. You're going to get the one person in a million that doesn't like coffee, that genuinely doesn't like it. But there's so many different types. And I revel in the fact that when I speak to people, I try to find what flavor or what type of bean or coffee suits them. It's just something that I do. So I love talking about it. I love going through the process and watching them, I guess, explode or implode with wow, this is coffee. It tastes like blueberries. And they just can't believe it. There's a guy in Birmingham, is it Corporation Street? I think it's Corporation Street. And it's called the Coffee Bar. No, Cormoro, the Coffee Bar. If you're in Birmingham or in the Midlands, visit him. He's got coffee that tastes just absolutely divine, and there's he changes it regularly, but there's different flavors. There's one called Buddha's Hand that's there now.
So just to stop you there, just to go back a second. So, okay, all I know, okay, is coffee, and then sometimes you say, can I put a bit of caramel in it? Or can I have a bit of like vanilla? If I put vanilla in my coffee, I'm like, ooh, look at me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's as far as I know in terms of how to flavor coffee. But now you're saying blueberries, and what else can you do to coffee to make it so amazing?
So coffee that tastes like blueberries, it's usually a variety that is floral, or like a floral variety, or typically they're lightly roasted. It's hard to sort of go into it without going into it, if you know what I mean. But you want to look for a lighter roasted coffee, and then to get those flavors, you've got to be skilled. You've got to understand what coffee is, and you've got to experiment. So it's almost like a science experiment. That's why I created my barista page, because I wanted to bring that knowledge forward without getting people to spend thousands.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to try these things at home. And the cheapest way to do it is to start with medium to dark roasted coffee and use a French press. And a French press will allow you to taste things like hazelnut, caramel, chocolate in the coffee, because they're inherent flavors anyway, especially when the coffee is decent quality and not burnt. Once you can figure that out and you stick with it, you'll then be able to move into like AeroPress territory, and you'll be able to taste blueberries and all sorts of amazing things. But the key thing to get those flavors is the grinder. You need to have a good grinder. Without a good grinder, it's really hard to get those flavor profiles. And those types of flavors come fresh. It's like pepper. If you grind a pepper fresh, try saying that fast, you can taste it a lot more than ready ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why restaurants have them, right?
Yeah.
Similar thing with coffee. After 20 minutes of ground coffee being out, you start to lose a lot of the flavor. So it needs to be done as you're making it. So
like people now that are listening to this are going to say, I'm not doing all that first thing in the morning, but I can vouch, like, this podcast is not sponsored by Singh Beans. Okay. Yeah. And I was a little bit hesitant because we know each other and we have background together. I was hesitant to talk about your coffee before I tried it, and I didn't want to try it. Remember when you first time you ever brought me a bag, and I said to you, I said, Aaron, this is your business, and I'm brutally honest. You know that. And if I don't like this, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it, and I'm gonna give you the bag back. You know that. Now the problem is when you said, son, try this, you brought equipment with you, and I got anxiety. Yeah, because for me, my routine is wake up in the morning, get a cup, you throw coffee in there, throw a sugar, water, milk, and jobs on the go. I've got no time whatsoever. But you have gifted me time, believe it or not, with your coffee. I haven't told you this. So how you did that is basically you gave me all the equipment. You gave me a French press, and I was like, I'm not using this thing, this stupid little pump thing. I'm not going to use it.
It was the AeroPress.
AeroPress, sorry.
Yeah.
You gave me that, and you were like, son, just trust me. You showed me how to use it. And I was in my head while you were there doing all that thing. I was like, I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use this. Until one of the days I used it. I made that coffee. I can't take a shit in my house, without the kids coming to me, like knocking the door, like, Daddy, what are you doing? What are you doing? There is no daddy time. There's no time for me. But because it's coffee, they can't have it. My wife only drinks green tea and things like that. So this coffee, my parents only drink tea. The coffee is mine in this house. And now I have a certain ritual in the morning that's just for me. And that's what you've given me. So I look forward to waking up. I got my little AeroPress. I do my thing. Then I put the coffee and it's like a whole thing that's just those sweet, where I used to think, nah, man, I'm not doing that. I just want something quick. And now it's like, no, I wish there was more steps to the process to expand the me time. And that's what it is for me. And oh my God, the difference in taste. I'm not just saying it. Don't get me wrong. I tried one of your packs, tastes terrible. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah.
But again, from what you explained, is not every flavor is for everybody. There's different flavors. And the one that got me was the Sicilian.
Yeah.
Oh, that was absolutely amazing. And I try and act a bit Italian when I drink it because it's called Sicilian, but that was amazing, man.
Yeah, like that's the rabbit hole that everyone starts going down. Once you've had that hit, and you, like you said, you wanted to expand the process, within a few years, you'll end up with a £4,500 coffee setup, and you'll be trying to extract blueberries from coffee beans.
I believe you. Honestly, I get obsessed. That's my problem. I generally get obsessed with stuff.
Literally, this morning, about 11:30, I think it was, I had a phone call with one of my best mates, and he's staying in an Airbnb, and they've got an espresso setup with a coffee grinder. For an hour, I talked him through it, and he is the most, he ain't gonna mind me saying this, he's lazy. He's efficient and lazy. If he can get it done quickly, he'll get it done quickly. He spent his time making it, and by the end of it, he was like, I'm gonna have to get one of these now, because there is something about creating it. It's like when you bake your first loaf of bread. It's that feeling of, I did this, and then you can replicate it.
Yeah.
And once you can replicate it and you can wow other people, it's just like anything else. It's like playing the trumpet or playing the door.
Like coffee, obviously you're in the coffee business. So, one could say that you're going to say it's amazing for you. You're going to say it's got so many benefits, etc. But what are the benefits and what are some of the problems with coffee?
Coffee, it's one of the most widely consumed drug in the world, and I could go into the history of it, but it's literally, there's people out there that theorize that it helped develop the Western world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you look at, you can watch videos on this, that there was coffee shops that used to be open sort of 24/7. People would come and discuss philosophy, ideologies and whatnot. They were even banned at one point throughout the Middle East, in Turkey, I think, during the Ottoman Empire, because he was scared that people were going to overthrow him, because it was like a way to bring people together and talk and discuss ideas. But
they'll ban the congregation, so no one's then talking.
Because when you're drinking coffee, your brain's working and you just start saying things that you shouldn't really say, especially when you're in a place like that where it's like a football match. And coffee sort of keeps that human connection going, and it's been doing that forever. From what I understand, the benefits are unlimited, from lower dementia rates, better weight loss, cognitive functions. The world's your oyster. You can find something that you want to achieve, and if you take a look at caffeine or coffee, there's a way for it to benefit you.
Why is there such a taboo about adding milk to coffee? It's such a divided, it should be black, and some
And that's just personal preference. It's
Yeah.
like rock bands. Do
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like R&B and hip hop.
Mm.
People are gonna say, "Oh, this is better than that."
But is there any benefit health wise to having black coffee? Because they say
Yes. So milk's full of sugar, lactose, and it can dilute, I guess, the benefits of the coffee because you're taking sugar in, and it's fat in there as well. It's to me, it's negligible, and unless you're lactose intolerant or you're a vegan, it doesn't really matter. Milk generally was there to take the bitterness away when people first were brewing coffee. It was there to sort of mask those horrible burnt flavors because people didn't know what they're doing. Nowadays, there's coffees designed for milk. So our Amalfi blend is designed to take milk. It's designed to be used as a latte or a flat white. So there's enough bitterness there to punch through the milk, but it's creamy and rich and chocolatey. So it all depends. Firstly, what you like to drink. I like to change it up every now and then. I'll have.
Hang on. So what is your ideal flavor?
Oh,
and what's the process? What does the man behind the coffee? How does he have his coffee?
See, I like to change it up. So it depends what I'm drinking. So at the moment, I'm drinking Tiki Punch, and that's from the coffee bar. I got it from him, and it's like a pineapple juice flavor, or green apple kind of taste. It's got like this sourness, this bite, and I have that in two ways. So actually three. So sometimes as an espresso, typically as a flat white, but I've also been having it as a V60, which if people don't know what that is, it's like it's called a pour over. Just Google it, you'll get it. And the reason I do that, when you have it as an espresso, it's like a concentrated form, almost like squash. V60 is almost like diluted squash, and the flat white is like your typical latte kind of flavor. But so you get a little bit of a hint that comes in. It's just nice to have a warm drink in the morning that's thick. So
okay, that's interesting. What is the common mistakes, would you say, in people when they make their cup of coffee? What would you say simple things to do that can enhance your coffee experience?
It depends how they make it. I mean, I'm going to get slated by the coffee community because I'm overly simplifying this, but see, for me, if you're anywhere, like just even you with the AeroPress, I would use a scale. A scale takes all the guesswork out of it.
Scale as in weighing it, yeah?
As in, like a little coffee weight scale,
okay.
Right? The reason I recommend those, you get consistency in your cup. So when you eyeball something, sometimes it'll be good, sometimes it will be bad. But once you've got a recipe, so to speak, or an instruction manual, you can get consistent results. So with the AeroPress, I always work to a 18 to 20 gram per cup ratio, just generally, but I am so anal that I'll do 18.5, 18.6 grams, and they do make a difference to me because it'll go from slightly bitter to no bitterness at all. And to get that consistency, I'll know, okay, it's 18.6 of this particular coffee, ground this way. So have a scale, have a notepad and a pen, and write down what you did. If it comes out too sour, you're probably grinding a little too coarse. If you've got ready ground coffee, which people buy from the supermarkets, just add more coffee to your brew. If it's the opposite, if it's coming out too bitter, then go the other way. Take a bit out or grind coarser. So that's what I would recommend. If you're making, God forbid, instant coffee, there's a little trick that I learned, which is add about a teaspoon of cold water, stir it, and then add the boiling water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll get less of a bitterness. It still tastes horrible, don't get me wrong. But if you need to choke something down for the caffeine hit, that's how I would drink it.
Okay, that's what I used to do. Honestly, I was terrible. Just quick. Don't get me wrong, at the time I thought that was great until I did it the proper way. I was, there is a big, there's a misconception when it comes to things like coffee and things like that. We always think anything off the shelf from the supermarket or anything you do yourself is never going to be as good as when you go to a coffee shop. And now I realize when I have mine in the morning when I make that, and then if I do end up in a coffee shop and I drink it, I'm like, this is terrible. I don't know why.
There's a whole theory at the moment that I think it's proven. I think there's a guy called James Hoffman, if you Google him or YouTube him, he talks about coffee, and I think he did an experiment where people that are I would class them as enthusiasts that make it at home, espresso at home, they make it better than most coffee shops because they spend 5 minutes per shot, whereas a coffee shop, it's 30 seconds in and out.
Yeah.
So the stages that they take and the consistency and the equipment that they use, you're actually getting better results at home. And it's cheaper per cup, technically.
Yeah, 100%.
So, coffee shops, to me now, they're there for that human experience. If I haven't seen you in a long time, I want to catch up, I'll go to a coffee shop. You can have a nice coffee, a baguette or a cake, and you can talk.
When are you going to open your own coffee shop then, bro?
I had one, and it was very, very stressful.
Yeah.
So I'm happy working with Barfia and get other people to open it that want to take on that stress.
Yeah, I can understand. Now we're talking about business. How have you found running a coffee brand in terms of business, in terms of the struggles that you've had? What has the journey been like?
Singh Beans started off as a way to raise money for muscular dystrophy, and we had Carlsat Aid, and it was just something that I was passionate about. It was more of a hobby that turned into a technical business, right? And it really came to fruition when I got diagnosed with diabetes and I took a year out. So when I had that diagnosis, it was caused by poor lifestyle, essentially, just working too hard and not sleeping enough and just putting a lot of time and effort into other things. So when I quit my job, Singh Beans sustained me essentially for that year. Kept me going, gave me routine, and I met some amazing people. So I got to do a lot of events. You did one with me.
Yeah.
We built the stand and we got out there and we spoke to people and we bought coffee to a community that is engrossed within tea. And we came up with the recipes. We did a lot of research and looked at what coffee was drunk in the bar of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And that was cool and bringing that back.
Whoa. Coffee was actually drank in Maharaja Ranjit Singh's bar, yeah?
Yeah. He drank. There was loads of stuff that was drank in that bar.
See, now I'm obviously the uneducated in this situation. I didn't know. I thought when you think of India, you just think the origins of tea. That's all you think about. I didn't even think you could probably get coffee back in the day. Now you can get everything. But so coffee was around at the same time as tea. Is that what you're saying?
It's hard to tell because there's no official records of this. This is like people are just, there's myths and whatnot and legend. But I like to listen to it because I'm like, it makes sense to me. Tea was not really allowed before the British took over India. People don't know that British propagated it. Before that, it was like a herbal drink. I forgot the name of it, but I think the Singhs call it garam jal, which means hot water, and it would keep you warm. And essentially, they took the active components out and replaced them with tea, and that's what we have now. So the spicy flavors and whatnot, that was like something else before, and then it was replaced with tea. But coffee was used for meditative practices. The guards would take it and whatnot because it would help keep them awake, and it was imported from, I think it was from Arabia. It's been in India since the Mughal Darbar. Mm-hmm. So people were drinking it in the south a lot more than the north because milk was a thing in the north. Down south, it was all about like watery drinks. But it did hit the Darbar from what I heard, and it was essentially like what we have now, which is Indian tea. But instead of using chapatti, which is tea leaves, they used ground coffee.
Oh, wow.
And it was the same thing.
What's the origin? Where does coffee actually come from, originate from?
Again, there's no definitive record. The myth is, or the legend, should I say, the legend is there was a goat herder and he watched his goats eating this particular fruit and they would do backflips and you know what I mean? They would just...
So he's thinking, hang on a second, what have they eaten?
He's just thinking, I want some of that. Yeah. So he started chewing them.
And where was this goat herder from?
Again,
okay.
They say like Yemen and those kind of areas, North Africa.
Yeah.
But again, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But the story goes, he chewed the berries, and then throughout time, people just take an ingredient and mess around with it, and someone took the seeds, like cooked them, and then ground them and started brewing them, and here we are.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how, but that's the story. That's the legend.
I mean, I used to think like coffee, people used to make this up when they say it's a great pre-workout. That makes a lot of sense. It gives you energy because there was a guy I used to train, and you know when you got the old school beefed up, you know, like a house on legs, and I went up to him one time, and he was benching something. I thought I'd give him a hand, and then I helped him out. I spotted him, and then I was a bit like, you know, are we friends now? Like, give me some advice. And I said, what shall I have for like a pre-workout? What shall I? And I thought he was going to tell me about something off like the dark web. You know, take this and you'll give it. And he said, black coffee, no sugar. That's all you need to drink. I was really good. Just a shot. I was like, are you serious? And I just thought he just fobbing me off. But apparently that's a thing as well. It is a good pre-workout.
Well, you said it gives you energy. It doesn't give you energy, just so everyone...
Okay.
All it does is block adenosine receptors and stops you feeling tired. So if you was to ever stop drinking coffee, you'll have a bad 3 or 4 days where your adenosine receptors are just going to be overloaded, because to compensate, your body has to release more of it. So all you're doing with coffee is blocking the tired signal getting to your brain to make you feel tired. So you feel like it's giving you energy, but really it's just stopping you from feeling tired. So it does feel good in the gym because it stops the fatigue, or it slows down the fatigue essentially, but it doesn't give you energy. There is a little myth to it being a good workout because it increases your adrenaline response. So it does give you a bit of a charge. Caffeine does that.
Yeah.
We do a coffee called Panthera, which is designed to do that. I say designed. It was bred for high caffeine content, and it's 100% Robusta. But everyone's heard Arabica. It's like a buzzword, right?
Yeah.
Robusta now, good Robusta is basically the same sort of price as Arabica. Just doesn't taste as good. It's more earthy, more like grassy, but like green tea.
Okay.
We do that.
What is that? What does that do?
It's just high caffeine.
Okay.
But it's in a
concentrated caffeine.
It's just higher, naturally grown. So caffeine, I'm getting really nerdy. Caffeine essentially is the plant's way of stopping bugs from devouring it.
Wow.
So if it's higher altitude coffee, typically it'll have less caffeine because there's less bugs.
Oh.
So that's all it was. That's what scientists say. And same as nicotine, they're all sort of similar, right? It's the plant's, it's a defense mechanism.
You know that I read an article not long ago, and they were saying that plants can feel pain, and apparently that they can. There's like I don't know if this is true. Again, I'm an idiot. Okay, I don't know anything, but from what I took from the article, that they scream.
You've just upset a lot of vegans by saying that. Yeah,
but when I heard that, I didn't want to walk on the grass. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm sorry. Apparently they scream, and then it's a defense mechanism. And like, so you got, someone will explain it, I don't know, but you got like, they did an experiment where they got 2 greenhouses, okay? And they put 1 plant in each greenhouse, and all the conditions in terms of heat, temperature, water, everything's the same amount of light. So all the growing conditions are the same. The only added element that was different was one had classical calm music, and one had like rock, kill your mom music. And the one that had the rock music, those plants significantly declined in health and growth. And the ones that had the classical music, they flourished. That's mad as far as I'm concerned. So like now I'm like, to my kids, I'm like, no aggressive music. You need to grow. I don't know if it applies the same as that kind of coffee.
I don't know. I've never heard. Like I know that was, I think it was Brainiac that did that. If anyone remembers Brainiac, you're old, like
old school. Wow.
Yeah. So I remember they had 2 greenhouses, and I remember that experiment. I'm
pretty sure Mythbusters did it as well.
I haven't watched that episode.
What a legendary program Mythbusters was.
The funny thing is, those used to be 30 minutes long. They've condensed them into 30 seconds. And they're busting the myths on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Oh, really?
So you can watch a whole episode in 30 seconds and they bust the myth, and you're like, I wasted my life watching TV when I was a kid.
There's something like now, like doing podcasting, I realize that short form content is everything. And I did an episode with Jamie, and he's like a content creator, cinematographer, filmmaker. And he said as well, short content is king. Whereas for me, I'd love nothing more than like a big block. I want to know everything from beginning to end. And I thought everyone else is like that as well. But TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, that's where everybody's engaged. It's just everyone needs it quick.
I'm like you. I can watch long form videos. That's my thing. If I'm watching TikToks, or if I'm feeling the mood to sort of go on a TikTok binge, when it first happened back in COVID era, this guy popped up and he was like, "Stop, let me tell you how to hack the algorithm." And he said, "Go into the videos that you like and click don't show me these, because those videos are the ones that are going to keep you in this loop." I did that, and my TikTok and Instagram feeds now are all about things that are not addictive, not like flashy or, about stuff that's boring or just there to consume. So all my stuff is like educational. So whoever's around me, they're like, "What the hell are you watching?" And it's usually like some deep philosophical, spiritual TikTok that's like a minute long. Wow. And that's how I keep my brain active. Because if I was to binge watch crap, I'd end up melting. So that's a quick hack for everybody. If you want to hack the algorithm, just dislike things that you like to see. Watch things that you don't like to see, and you might open and broaden your mind.
My algorithm is people getting choked out, camera equipment for the podcast, and Peppa Pig, because the girls get hold of my phone. That's all they're watching. And so like it's just someone getting choked, camera equipment, and then all of a sudden Peppa Pig. I mean, it makes no sense at all. I'm just like, "Oh, what's going on with my phone, man?" But isn't that weird that we have an algorithm? Just think about an algorithm for a start. Something decides what it thinks that you should consume.
It goes by, it's all data driven, and what people don't realize is these companies, like even Tesla's got the same thing for its cars, so it knows where to turn, how to turn, because it takes all that data, feeds it into a supercomputer, and then it spits out an algorithm for that car to use. It's the same thing. They're looking at you, they're profiling you, your age, your sex, your location, your ethnicity. Then it goes by what you watch, and it goes to the point where it knows what's being shown. It knows when you're stopping, like when you're flicking, and it'll know that he watched, I don't know, Peppa Pig, so we need to show him more Peppa Pig, and it will throw something at you that's Peppa Pig related. And if you watch it, it knows Sonny with this handle likes Peppa Pig, so we're going to give him Peppa Pig content. There will be a content creator that's paying 50, 60 quid for Peppa Pig cakes, and it'll come your way, and you'll end up buying one because you love Peppa Pig. And that's it. And that's the cycle. I'm really simplifying it here. It's a lot more than, like, it goes to the microsecond, and it really looks at the sounds that are played, the colors, and everything else that's with it. So what you need to do is, if you want to hack the algorithm, watch things that you don't want to watch. So you look at it and you think, "I'm going to swipe," don't swipe. It confuses the hell out of the algorithm. And that way you get content that's broader. I always go for broad content because I like to know and see what's going on. Because I hate being, like, I'm one of those people, if you left me to it, I could be in an echo chamber and surround myself with people that are very similar to me. I've got the tendencies to do that, and I know I have. So I try to speak to as many different people and get as many different opinions and criticism. My best friend, the reason me and him are best friends, I think, is because I allow him to critique me to the point where it's almost cruel. And I think me and you are the same as well. We have very differing opinions, and I love it because it shows me a perspective that I will never see. But social media doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Social media is an echo chamber. It only shows you what you don't want to see. So if you hate something, it will keep showing you why you hate it. And that's dangerous.
It is dangerous. I keep saying that as well. I mean, social media, that's dangerous. It's all dangerous, but where is it going? I mean, I try my best now. Before I start every episode, I say to myself, don't go down the rabbit hole of AI. Okay. I just can't help myself. But I'm so terrified of AI. And like ChatGPT, I mean, the new one that's coming out apparently is unbelievable. Like the level, like
the Google video creator.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like, explain that. What's that about?
I guess it's just there to help. AI, people don't realize where we are with AI at the moment. There's so much it can do. There's so many things that it can do to simplify human endeavor and take us to that next level. People don't realize you could use something like AI to figure out how to get unlimited energy, to figure out how to feed 1 billion more people. Because right now it's humans, and humans are fallible. Humans are not completely logical. They have beliefs and,
Flaws.
Flaws is a good word. And they all make decisions based on those things. AI don't care. So it will figure out the most efficient way to do something. It is dangerous because you don't know who's programming it. But I think it'll get to a point where it'll program itself.
If it hasn't already.
It hasn't yet.
You think so?
Yeah, because if it had, we'd be in a different world. It would just completely take over technology.
But see, this is the thing. So what if it has, but it's not letting on?
There'd be no benefit to it.
Because what if it thinks that we would pull the plug, sort of thing?
That's the thing. There's so much money that's gone into it. We would never pull the plug on it.
But then, have you heard? Do you know what a quantum computer is?
I've been seeing them recently.
Yeah, I talked about this with Jamie, and like, so quantum computing. Again, sorry if everyone's heard this before, but quantum computing, they said like they had this super really difficult what they call it, equation, really difficult to do. To answer this equation, to figure it out, it would take every single computer on Earth to work at one time together to work this out. Even if it did that, it still wouldn't be able to do it. It would take millions and millions of years. One quantum computer did it in 15 minutes. And now they're theorizing that the way it did it, in theory, is that it's using other quantum computers from parallel universes to figure this out. Now, we say other parallel universes, this is ridiculous, but they're not just putting this out lightly. They're saying, okay, it's in theory, but this is plausible. Now,
That's mad.
That's really terrifying.
Why is it terrifying? Because don't you think that's an awesome, like for humans, that's an awesome power to have, to be able to do stuff like that.
I'll tell you why it's terrifying. It's terrifying because for something to be that powerful, for something to have the ability to do that, something that takes every single computer on Earth thousands, millions of years, for it to be able to do it in 15 minutes. And then if it's true that it's using and drawing its power from other dimensions and, you know, whatever, then at some point it must realize it doesn't need us. It must realize that, okay, hang on a second, these monkeys have got nuclear weapons. These guys are so temperamental. These guys, these humans, all they want to do is hold on to their land, this little bit of mud. So they will go to war with other nations just to hold on to a patch of land. This is where, and they've got borders because another monkey's a different color. You know what I mean? In their mind, they're like, for a supercomputer, it's probably thinking like an AI. Whoever's the top AI, you know what I mean? The AI god, the general, the head, you know, the big puncher. He's probably thinking these guys are idiots, but they are a danger to the AI. They nuke. I got nothing to run here. I got nothing to go by. So like, what if it's realized that these squidgy little organisms, they need to go. I can do all this without these. That's what terrifies me.
But it would also know that without us, he wouldn't exist, or it wouldn't exist. So I think,
but it can continue to exist now that it has come into existence.
I don't know how it all works. If I'm completely honest, I don't know how quantum. I mean, that's nuts. But I think what it will do is it will allow the human race. This is just a theory of mine, to coexist peacefully in the long term. It will socially engineer us in a way that we won't have those borders. No one will care about what color, caste, religion, creed you come from. There will be one global organization, and it will be people just doing what they love.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I think food, like all the basic survival instincts that we have, over time they'll be drawn out because we won't need them. We'll be at a point where life is going to be about the philosophical. It will be about the spiritual, because everything's good. You need something doing. The AI will figure it out. And I think that's where we'll get to.
See, my worry, again, with that is that sounds great. That sounds like an oasis.
It does. I would say the problem with that is you get rid of distinct identities and cultures. That's what I'm more worried about, because we all come from a place that has given us this. Our nose, our lips, our ears, our eyes, our hairstyles or turbans. That's, to me, that's part of our identity. And we've lost that in the last 100 years. Our identity used to be our village, our people, what we did as like a job. And I think that's scary. But I think that's just something that's going to happen with time. It's happening anyway. But I think with time, that will disintegrate. But for me personally, that's hard to reconcile, because it's generations of blood and sweat and tears and toil to get to a point where we give it all away for peace and everlasting peace and whatnot. I think AI will achieve it. I genuinely think the way I'm in the IT sphere, have been for a while, and I've seen what it's done. I mean, there's people that are emailing each other, and it's ChatGPT emailing, and the other one's replying. It's like ChatGPT speaking to itself through email.
There was that one where two computers started communicating with each other.
And they changed to a different language.
They changed to a different language. That's like too happening when like a daughter walks in the room and they start speaking Punjabi. So, hey, what are you doing? And they panicked. So they tried to literally pull the plug to switch these off. But we don't know what they've said. It was just noughts and ones and noughts. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff terrifies me. We're just Googling, where's the best place in Spain? You know
what does he mean if my fart smells of dal?
That's what I'm saying, you know what I mean? We're just what how to look at it. We're just like little cavemen that just discovered a pointy bone. You know what I mean? Oh, now we can poke things. Whereas the true essence of what it's really being used for and what its capabilities are, we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Just to be a devil's advocate about ChatGPT and AI, can you think of the video games that you're going to get off the back of it? So like you imagine you get a ChatGPT powered video game and you can tell the game where you want it set. So typical Punjabi warrior, what we're going to say, Maharaja Ranjit Singh's prime time in Punjab. Imagine like an Assassin's Creed game where you tell the computer that's where I want to be.
Are you secretly telling me your fantasy?
Yes, of course. If I could, there was a guy that was developing a game like that and he just didn't get the funding.
That'd be bad.
But can you imagine with an AI-powered engine, you could just set up a game that you want to play and you could have other people, like, you got YouTube for video creation. Imagine a game creation.
You're basically just saying you want a Punjabi GTA. Yeah.
No, not a GTA. I want an Assassin's Creed storyline based in Punjab. In that era.
Well, there we go, guys. Internet, if anyone is listening, please make this for Aaron.
Well, what can you got YouTube now, right? Yeah. Imagine there's a video game content or TikTok app for video games. So you create a game using an engine like ChatGPT. And you spew out games and people rate them, and the ones that make the best games take off, people like Rockstar and all those video game that are spending billions on these games. Imagine all that goes out the window because there's an app out there that makes videos. Like TV channels and TVs, YouTube's taken that over, right? Those are the kind of things that my brain goes to. I'm like, wow, imagine I don't think about the bad things.
Well, it's not like I sit there and dwell on just the bad things, but my concern, again, is the unknown. And I always think my mind always goes to the unknown.
That's human nature, isn't it? What's in the dark? It's a monster. But you told me, there's nothing in the dark.
No, but that's the thing. We think that, but so fear. Why do we fear? Fear keeps us alive. I mean, so fear is that we've got these things in our system for a reason. It's a survival instinct. Now, my survival instincts are ringing alarm bells against ChatGPT and AI, and I just can't help myself think like, "Oh, are we sure we know what we're doing with this thing?" Again, it doesn't matter if me and you can say we do or we don't. The boffins are going to do it anyway, regardless. I just hope they know what they're doing. I just don't think they do.
Even if they don't, let's just see what happens. That's the fun of life.
See what happens.
It's I remember meeting an old Baba once, and he said, life should be like the machines in the hospital. What do you mean? And he goes, sometimes they go up and sometimes they go down. But he goes, if they're flatline, you're dead.
Yes, uncle. I like that one.
So that's always stayed with me. And he goes, always remember, things always...
The highs and lows. I like that. So where can you see yourself going in the future with Singh Beans, with the company?
I don't know.
What's the goal?
The goal has been accomplished, if I'm completely honest. We've disseminated great coffee to a community that never had it. We've got a little bit of a culture here and in Canada, and people are enjoying coffee in a way that they never did. I mean, you're part of the success. You're trying stuff that you never tried before, and we've got subscribers. We've got people coming to us and asking questions. Like my mate this morning, he phoned me and says, "Help me make this coffee." He would have been in that Airbnb if Singh Beans wasn't around. He would have looked at it and gone, "Oh, never going to use that."
So where can you see Singh Beans in the next 5 years then? You've achieved your ultimate goal.
Just growth, growing, and hopefully we'll do more weddings and parties with the stand and get more people involved.
For people that don't know about that, explain that. So what are you doing now with stands?
Me and you came together and we created that sounded dodgy. We got together and we created a mobile barista station, but it was specifically designed for Singh Beans coffee.
You're putting me too much into it. All I did was I just made the thing. That was your genius brainchild. That was so like when I create things, when I'm making things, if you give me enough information and if you're passionate about it, it makes my job so much easier.
You are too humble.
No,
Tell
serious.
everybody what you no. Tell everybody how you made our logo. Did you use a picture or a sketch, or how did you do it?
No, I free drew that and then just jigsawed it.
And if you guys haven't, just go to our page and have a look at our stand. It looks like it's been 3D printed. That's how good you did it.
Too kind. I did 3D printing. I just told you I didn't. No, but again, like I'm only as good as the information I receive. So if you give me all the information you want and you need, but the way you told me what you wanted, and then when I saw how it came out and then it being used, I realized, oh, that's why Aaron wanted this big gaping gap here. And that's why Aaron wanted this here and that. And what you created was a stand that's not just there serving coffee. It became a social little standpoint. People were leaning on the, that typical like New York, the barman's kind of like cleaning and saying, what's the matter? He's kind of like a therapist. That's what you created. I found so many men, instead of standing around the bar, they were standing around your stand, drinking coffee, going, yeah, it's a good idea. And it was a lovely little a social hub.
Well, we've done a few weddings, and there was one wedding we did, and it was a hardcore wedding. Like I'm talking people that were there, they were known to be drinkers, and we thought, oh man, we're not gonna have any customers. Like we're just gonna be
every wedding I've been to.
Yeah, well, we just thought, oh, it's gonna be one of those weddings where you're gonna get the odd person or the odd auntie, and because it was a Sunday, people had work the next day. Our stand, the bar was looking at us. The guy was just like, just giving us evils because we had a queue out the door. People wanted coffee.
Yeah.
And once people had tried it, I had guys coming back for 2 or 3 shots, and we was having a joke like, these are the different types of shots.
Honestly, I think that's how. If someone wanted to book, they've got a wedding coming up, they're on occasion. What do they do?
Just DM us on Singh Beans, on our Singh Beans UK page, or Aaron the Barista page.
On the socials, you're saying like Instagram,
like
etc.
Instagram or Facebook, or you can there's a website on our website on singhbeans.co.uk. You can fill out a form and just send it.
Just off the top of your head, for those that just want a quick breakdown. So if they were to book for their special occasion and their event, what would they get?
It's all custom. So we do everything from black coffee, essentially with milk. So like jugs of ready-made, freshly brewed coffee that you just pour at the tables. And then you'll have syrup stations and stuff, all the way up to a proper espresso barista setup. So you come and we make it there fresh. And
so let's say I want all the bells and whistles. I want everything. So what would you provide? If I say to you, look, I don't care about the budget, I don't care about space, I just want the best.
If someone said they wanted the best, we'd come with the espresso machine, one or a couple of them. If there's a large event, you'd get professional baristas. I might even turn up. You'd get syrups, organic milk, organic sugar, vegan options, or milk alternative options if you're lactose intolerant.
And your baristas, they make whatever the
I was going to say,
want, yeah?
You would get custom drinks for all your guests. So if someone wants a half shot cortado or a Spanish latte, we can make it. And if it's summer, we do iced lattes and iced coffees and whatnot. So it just adds a different flair to the wedding or party or whatever it is, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool.
A no-brainer, that is. I mean, I was so shocked with the reception we received, because when we set the stand up and we just stood there and like everybody's now doing their thing, dancing, etc. And then when one person had it and they walked through the crowd and the smell, the aroma was getting through everyone, you could see people like turning, like, where do you get the coffee from? And then slowly, you don't realize how many people actually need a hot drink, especially coffee at a wedding.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We also do tea as well.
You do tea, yeah? So what do you do in terms of tea? How's your tea different?
Oh, we don't do different tea, if I'm completely honest. Okay. We just do chai latte, which is a concentrated syrup that we make. But I just get a massive tea in. And whoever wants tea, fresh milk, nice. Tea bag, just in case someone wants tea.
Brilliant. I like that. You drink a lot of before, as well as coffee, you drink a lot of herbal teas in general, don't you?
I used to, yeah. I used to. Now I've cut it all down. I just have one coffee in the morning and I'll have it before 12. It's just the thing that I do. After 12, it starts to affect your sleep. So
Oh, is that right? Chinese, they have like a tea for everything. They have a like tea for medicinal use. Like we drink, we're using the biggest mug you can find. As soon as like, when my wife says I'm making tea, and I always say English or Indian. As soon as she says Indian, I'm like, yeah, the biggest mug ever. Yeah, what you got? Long, lychee, salt, and 17 bags of sugar. Then that's your Indian tea.
And your biscuits.
And your biscuits, you know what I mean? I'm like, yes, this is going to be a good morning. But like for Chinese, it's tiny little cups, and it's herbal, and it's for specific things. You know what I mean? And have you ever tried like a Chinese tea?
Yeah. I used to be a massive green tea fan.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do they do different?
A tea is just anything steeped in hot water. So anything can be a tea. You can make a tea out of longs, like you said. So it all depends, like what you want. We make our tea the way we make it just because it's become part of our culture, right? So I think the tea bags, like tea, the guy that used to sell tea to get an edge on his competitors, he started sending it in these little like silk bags, and people didn't know what to do with them, so they started steeping the bags, and it became a thing. So everyone was like, it's so convenient. There's no mess. I can just throw the whole damn thing away. And that's tea bags. It literally started from there. But teas, like he used to have different types of teas in those bags. So you'd have everything from the tea that we know and love, but there's so many varieties of that. Like when you think of tea, you just think bitter black liquid that I add loads of milk and sugar to, right? It's the same as coffee. There's so many different flavors of tea, and there's so many different types of tea that you can, the world's your oyster. You could get ginger and, I don't know, turmeric and steep that and drink that with a bit of sugar in it, and that's a tea. Do you know what I mean? I used to have a green tea because I was really into Japanese culture, and there's a tea that's shaded for 4 to 6 weeks to give it more umami taste, and you got to steep it 3 times.
So when you say shaded, what does that mean?
So they grow it, and then they put a shade over it.
Okay, quite literally shaded.
Literally, right. There's no light that can get to it, so
yeah.
It concentrates the flavor and the chlorophyll. You get 3 different distinct flavors from the 3 stages of brewing. So the first one is your normal one. That's very grassy, very earthy. The second one is that sweet, syrupy, nicey. Like when you think of green tea, you think horrible, bitter grass.
Yeah.
The second one is almost like, the best way to describe that? It's almost like, you ever had long, just chewing in your mouth?
Yeah.
It's like the aftertaste of long.
Okay.
Just raw long. But watered down. And then the last one is just like a typical green tea taste. But that's how they used to drink it. That was just that specific drink. But now you got matcha, which is like a powder. There's so many different ways to make tea. But yeah, I used to love my teas. I've just stopped drinking hot drinks altogether, to be fair.
I'm too scared to experiment with them. I'm too, I'm like, again, I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. I always feel like if I don't like this, I've wasted time. So I just stick to what I know. Like we go on holiday, and when we go to a buffet, I am sticking to my burgers and chips and pizzas. We could be in, the seafood capital of the world, and I'll be the one idiot that's there saying, "Do you have a burger? Do you have some chips as well?" Do you know what I mean?
Like food is, I'm a really passionate amateur chef. Like anyone that knows me,
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, anyone that knows me in that way, like foodie, I'm a massive foodie. I like to really experiment with food. I'll try random, like we got some dates recently, me and my sister, and we got some pistachios, stuffed them with pistachios, covered them in dark chocolate, and then added salt for salted caramel taste. It was amazing. You'd think salt on dates, are you like, but we thought, you know what, give it a go. We've seen it happen in other places. We'll just try it. And it was, you couldn't only have a couple of them because you get too much salt.
Yeah.
But it was delicious. So I love doing stuff like that because what's the worst that will happen? You're going to choke it down and you won't do it again.
Yeah.
So I love messing about with food. I could talk to you about that all day.
I'm feeling like a YouTube channel coming on here. Comment in the comment, lads and ladies, if you want to see Aaron experiment with salty dates.
I don't have time. I'm one of those people. I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of nothing.
Ah, nice. I like that.
Literally. Actually, only one thing that I could say I've mastered.
I'd say coffee.
I was going to say, yeah. I've mastered how to make a good espresso. That's it.
Yeah.
Good espresso. So other than that, I'm a jack of all trades.
Before I forget this question, it just came to my head. If you could have a cup of coffee with anybody, past, present, alive or dead, a hero or anyone you want, who would it be?
I answer it if you answer it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So let me think. Do you know who Marcus Aurelius is.
Yeah. The Roman general.
He was a Roman emperor.
Yeah.
So he had unlimited funds, unlimited power, and he's the most powerful man in the world, right? And he created a philosophy that's known as Stoicism, essentially, which is control. Even when you've got everything, how to control. Yeah. I'd have coffee with him. I'd sit down and just question the hell out of him because I'd want to know, how do you do it? Like, why would you want to control? Like, he literally, like, I'm a massive believer in what he does. I do this thing where there's something called a Shakti mat. None of this is promoted, by the way, if anyone's listening. So there's something called a Shakti mat, and it's designed to be uncomfortable, in my opinion. It is like these little plastic sharp shards on a pad that you lie on. Think of a bed of nails.
Okay.
And it just causes hella discomfort. Like, you sit on it, you're like, get off. It's like Lego bricks, but times a million, yeah?
Okay.
And I do it every day because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And that philosophy comes from him. It's do things you don't like to do because they will keep you out of the comfort zone. As soon as you get comfortable with anything you do in life, you start to get comfortable.
Well,
you start to get fat, you start to get lazy.
I say this to anyone that's a bit of a younger generation. I always try and explain to them that we were never supposed to get this comfortable. And like, we are proof that if you look at our forefathers, if we're here, it's because of what they did. And they left their comforts for a better life. People think that, they left, India, for example, they left there because they couldn't stay there. No, they could have, but they wanted a better life. So they came here. It's a sacrifice. The sacrifice is comfort. They left that comfort, they came here. Now they provided us with comfort. What we were supposed to do is get comfortable enough to then be great, be something else, continue that journey. What did we do? We overindulged on comfort. As a result, we suppressed our hunger for greatness. And now so many of us got so much potential. I see so many young kids that, you can be great. You can do something. Just give it a go. There's no hunger. Why? They're comfortable. Do you know what I mean? We were never supposed to sit and play PlayStation for 7 hours a night, but we do. And why? Because we've gotten comfortable. We've forgotten what we are and who we are and where we've come from. And it's not nothing to do with religion. I'm speaking upon anyone who's an immigrant that's coming at you. You've got an immigrant background. You're living proof that you can do something great because the odds are stacked against your forefathers. They came to a country where they couldn't speak the language. They could not understand the geography. They didn't know anything about the culture. All they knew, there was a possibility that this place that they're going to might be good. I mean, think about the conversation they were having. People think twice about moving to a different area within their own area. These guys were like, honey, we're going to pack our bags and go to a different country. Okay, what's this country? Oh, it's just a place that, destroyed our country, raped our land, and, sucked us dry. Okay, but apparently there's a chance it might be a successful life there. Yeah, say less, let's go. That mentality is crazy to have, and they did it.
I think it was, again, what you said. They weren't comfortable in the way that we're comfortable. They were comfortable in the mind. But physically, I mean, I remember stories of the elders in the family talking about how they would eat, bread with salt and butter. That was it. There was nothing else. The crop had failed. And they called it gribbi, which is like poverty. They go, we've seen poverty where we had to wear the same clothes for like months on end. Like, you guys throw clothes away. That's why they don't ever, like my dad and his dad, they never threw anything away. It was like, that's still got 6 years of life in it. Yeah. Those chapala, we can get them resold. You know what I mean? They never threw anything away. We're in a world now where it doesn't make sense because we're making so much money. Like, we think if you're making the average wage in this country is so much more than what they made. They were literally working for pennies on the pound, right? So they weren't comfortable. They had to leave a country where it was pure poverty. They got here, and to them, the streets were paved with gold. They were used to sleeping, in a little bed in a little room the size of an elevator. Do you know what I mean? We're not. That's why we don't want to move. We're so comfortable in our little areas and our social groups and circles. Those guys didn't care. They were from a little village. They came with the village on a boat and created another little village. And they just created, and to them, they were like, I'm going to build wealth. I'm going to set my kids up to be educated in a country that's known for its educated peoples. And we'll hopefully go back to India with this education or wherever they're from, so we can set it up, and we can set up with something, so we don't have to live in poverty ever again, like my dad did or his dad did. Do you know what I mean? The most expensive thing they probably owned was their cow or their ox or whatever they had. So now when I look back and they've got bloody motorcycles and courtier and cars and, clothes that are worth thousands of pounds, I'm like, you lot should look back to see where you came from, humble beginnings. And that's why I like Marcus Aurelius. He had everything. He was literally the emperor of the world, of the West. And he chose to live with no comforts. He gave himself uncomfortable situations so he would stay hungry. It's keeping that, like you said, if we instilled that, I mean, I don't really want to go into religion, but Sikhi does the same thing. Yeah. But it does it in this package. So it's not going to appeal to everybody. It should, but it doesn't, right? He did something that we can all aspire to be, because we all have the comforts that he had. He was never hungry. We're rarely, I mean, we miss lunch, we're hungry. Like, he never had to worry about famines. He never had to worry about money, really, because he was the emperor. He didn't have to worry about a job. Like, we're quite safe in this country. And that's why I like to look back at him, because I'm not an emperor or anything, but I'm living a very comfortable life. I mean, if I was to take a flat screen TV or my phone back to show him, it would blow his mind. Even him, the emperor of the Rome, you know what I mean? So I'd like to sit with him, have a coffee with him, and talk through how he developed that and when did it start. There's nothing in history that I'd say, when did you realize this was the right thing to do? And then what was the first thing that you did that was wrong? Like, you must have tried something and thought, oh crap, I ain't doing that again. Like, where? And his book, I think, is called Meditate. It still harks true to this day.
Oh wow!
Like, if you read his book, I might have got the name of that book wrong, but he did write a book or like some sort of philosophy. And I read it years ago, back when I was at school, and that's when it all started for me. It was, I can't be comfortable. I'm not allowed to be comfortable, because as soon as I get comfortable, I'm going to be like everybody else. Being hungry gives you an edge.
100% weird. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. What about you? Who would you have a coffee with?
I think probably me when I was 10 years old. So if I can go into the past, I would go.
You can't choose yourself. You can't choose yourself.
What? Are you just making rules?
No, the rules were anybody from past, present, or future. But you can't choose yourself.
I would have a coffee with myself when I was 10 years old, because then I would have so much to tell me about the future. And exactly like the things you said, do not get comfortable. Okay, everything is up against you. There's going to be so many things that you need to watch out for. And that's what I would love to do. And then if I was to go in the future, I'd love to be able to have a conversation with my kids' kids.
Wow.
I would love to be able to see, well, what happened in the end then? How did it go? You know, like when when I'm done, I'm a great granddad, like that generation has never even met so many kids. I'd love to see what actually happened. What did we become? I mean, are they in a prison cell somewhere?
Well, yeah, like if I look at my granddad, he had many kids and many grandkids. And if he could see the, the broad variety of his grandkids, I wonder what he would think. That's a fair point that you made there.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be proud of yourself?
I don't know. Possibly. But he wasn't that kind of a guy. You know what I mean? He was like, is that what you've done?
Okay.
Oh, when are you going to do this? Do you know what I mean? It was like
never enough. But
that was built into them.
That's a good mentality.
And that's what I've kept in my head. It's, don't ever be happy with what you've got, because it can be taken away. You can get it given to you and taken away like that. So I always hear, oh, be happy with what you've got. No, don't be happy with it. Just appreciate it. Be in the moment with it, in the present, because you could lose it very, very soon. You might have it forever, but you could lose it. So just appreciate it. A lot of people live in the future. They don't live in the present, or they live in the past. I mean, people that are depressed, I believe, live in the past. The ones that are worrying all the time, they're living in the future. Very rarely do I meet people that are living for now. And those are the most fun people, because they don't care what happens tomorrow, and they don't care what they did yesterday. So I try to say, have that mentality, enjoy it while you've got it, because one day you are going to be old and you're not going to be able to move and, have the money, the expendable income, or have those kind of people that are still with you now around you. So enjoy it, enjoy what you've got. And I feel like my Baba lived that way. He lived day to day. He lived in the moment. Everybody that knew him, all the elders I've spoken to, they're like, he was the life of the party. If he was there, we're having a good time. And that's what I try to instill in my day to day.
You know, as in, we talked a little bit about how you had diabetes and, you know, it affected your health. I was just thinking, just reminded me, how has that affected you going forward in life? In terms of, has it affected the way you're thinking? Has it affected the way you take decisions? You know what I mean? Obviously, you've had to have a big change in diet, but what else? How else has it affected you?
It's made me think more about work-life balance. I was a hardcore workaholic. Remember everything we spoke about in regards to the older generation? I literally took that and didn't give myself any breathing room. And I discovered that those guys, they worked hard, but they also partied hard. And I never did any of that. It was just work. So it's made me step back and do things that I enjoy. So that year out, I gigged. I played Dole, and that was awesome. I also started going for walks. So I like walking. I'm trying my hand at jogging at the moment. Not succeeding, but I'm trying. So yeah, and got me back into the gym. I lost 2 stone. So it was all about, you know, physical health as well as mental health, and then as well as got me more into Sikhi, doing more Kirtan and Bart, which kept my mental state of mind in focus. So it's all about having that balance of not just physical and mental health, but just general getting away from work. So work-life balance improved quite a bit.
That's interesting. Obviously, it's such a scary diagnosis to be given, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, it was. Well, looking back, it was quite funny the way that it happened. But at the time, it was nuts. Like the doctor just was like, "You've got diabetes," and I was like, "What?" I came in with a sore throat. I only came in because I thought I had an infection or something. She goes, "No, you got diabetes now. Go to the hospital. I'm going to give you a letter. Go. It's a medical emergency." I was, damn. Okay. So I got there, and the nurse was like dismissive. She was like, "No, the doctors, this happens all the time. The batteries run out in their testing equipment and whatnot, so always low. So let me just try it." She took it off my left hand, and she was like, "Let me just wipe your hand. You might have something sweet on it." I was like, "Okay, fine." She wiped it, did it again, still the same reading, and she was just like, "Yeah, your sugar's really high." And she turned kind of white, and she was like, "I've never seen anybody with a sugar that high that's coherent and speaking." So then they put me in a room and took my clothes off and started putting me on these machines and started pumping me full of water and whatnot, trying to get my sugar back down. So yeah, that was a massive eye opener. In my mind at that time, I was like, I'm quitting what I'm doing now. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to phone them and say I'm done. And then I just thought about, okay, how do I fix this? And it was just, there was no fix. I've just got to do what they say.
I mean, interrupt you. You said you're going to phone them and say you're done. Is that work?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm reliving the moments of that.
Yeah, you were basically equating your current situation to that's the cause of it.
Yeah. So I believe, and what the evidence that my diabetes diagnosis was from poor diet. So my mate was getting married and I was eating just fruit, which isn't great. So I was eating literally 2.5 to 3 kilos of fruit a day.
2.5 kilos? You own a farm?
I was just buying it. I was getting it all. I was spending like 40, 50 quid on fruit every week just for fun. Washing it down with fruit juice. So did that.
I think I know why you got diabetes.
Yeah. I thought I was being healthy. So I was doing that. And also, I just wasn't sleeping because I had a little baby, was crying all the time, and that didn't help. And sleep is massive. Working, burning the candle at both ends, trying to run businesses and trying to make business deals happen, speaking to clients at 11 o'clock at night, doing emails non-stop, and then not going to the gym, not doing anything healthy in terms of physical. So I think it just got to a point where my body just gave up, but I didn't realize it was a sore throat that got me to go to the doctors. All the other stuff, the pain, the inflammation, the lack of clarity in thoughts, all of that stuff was just, it's because I'm tired. but it wasn't. Yeah. So that happened. I quit. I had my first diagnosis, and she brought a tray of insulin out, and she was like, "You're gonna have to inject." She goes, "Let me just show me how you're taking your blood sugar samples," because I was regimented. It took me a week, and I had a regimen. I was like, my diet's changed. I'm gonna exercise every day, and they'd given me these tablets, and I was like, I'm gonna take them, but I don't want. My goal is to get off these, no matter what. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm gonna give it my best. And she goes, "Show me how you take your sugar." I took it, and it was back into single digits, and she was like, "I was told that your sugars were like ridiculously high. Like I was expecting to show you how to inject insulin today." She goes, "Just check it again." Checked it again. She goes, "You're back to single digits. What have you been doing?" I told her everything. She goes, "Okay, that's good. We're gonna have to monitor you now, but continue doing what you're doing." I've never seen that happen before. I've worked here for 22 years. Nobody's gone from like 30 down back to normal range. So for the next 3 months, I went ham and I just exercised and I watched what I ate and I didn't eat carbs, and my sugars went down, and my A1C, which is what they monitor, went down to normal levels, better than normal, like optimal levels. And I went to see my diabetes doctor, and he was just like, "Yeah, but you're still gonna get it. Your pancreas is gonna die, and you're gonna end up eventually having to inject anyway." And I was like, "Do I have to?" He goes, "Yeah, pretty much. There's nothing like, unless you're, gonna win the lottery tomorrow." Kind of. He was proper dismissive, really rude. And I just went, "Okay, cool." I wasn't rude to him. I just went, fine. Got up, walked out. Didn't really care to hear what he had to say. I did loads and loads of research. At that point, I thought I'd conquered it, and I realized this doesn't go away. It just comes back slowly, but with a vengeance, unless you literally stick to those lifestyle changes, which is exercise and diet, and that's what I've done. Now, if it comes back in the future, it does. But right now, yeah, I'm good. I'm classed as normal. No tablets, no nothing. I'd noticed when I get ill, it comes back. As in, my sugar monitor says, my sugars go up and they stay high for longer than they should. But I look at it now and I class myself as insulin resistant. So my body finds it hard to process carbs. Sugar, sweets, believe it or not, I'm fine with.
Oh, wow. Really?
But pasta, white bread, croissants, cakes, those things, ice cream, they mess me up. But not that much. Pizza, I don't know what it is. Pizza will...
Don't say it. Can't eat pizza.
Can't. I do eat pizza, don't get me wrong. Domino's probably went into they do like the annual review, like, why have we lost like 20 grand a year? It's because that Zenga's and why
he stopped eating pizza. Yeah,
I just eat Domino's at least once a week, maybe 2-3 times a week, because from back in the day that was normal. It was cheap, easy, quick. But yeah, stopped eating pizza. I have tried proper Italian pizza. That doesn't spot my blood sugar. I don't know what it is about Domino's or what we eat in this country. It is something wrong with the way that they make it. So yeah, I don't eat it. There's a place in Wolverhampton called Bunchy. I can eat that, no problem.
They specialize in sourdough. Is maybe have something to do with sourdough?
It's like a fermented, really thin based pizza with low carbs, I guess, and they're fine. Chippy chips spike my blood sugar. Fries, nothing. So figure that one out. I've Googled it. Shouldn't make a difference. Is if you eat the same amount of fries as you do chips, should be fine.
Yeah.
But
just to take you back a little bit, you said you had gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
And after having done your own bit of research and your own regimen you followed, and then you had brought it down, and the doctor was like, "Well, what are you doing? What was you doing to have suppressed it to that level where you went to single digits, I believe?"
Yeah, back to single digits. Like if I just check right now, my sugar is sitting at 4.3. Actually, it's just gone down to 3.7 according to this glucose monitor, but it's probably around 3.9, which is at the lowest end it should be. And all I'm doing is exercising. And what I did do is exercise. I did at least 1 hour walk every day. I completely cut out caffeine, which was horrible. No coffee, no tea, no nothing. The reason I did that is when you have coffee in the morning, it makes your liver create sugar. So it spikes your sugar in the morning, which is what gives you the energy boost that you were talking about, but it's not. It's just, I was eating 3 types of veggies as part of my main meal and some protein, and that's it. There was no carbs at all. So I'm talking like 100 grams of green beans, 100 grams of broccoli, and 100 grams of kale. So 300 grams in my evening meal of veggies, those three specifically, every single meal. And that was it. That was main part of it. And that was it. Just no work. I wasn't working. I was sleeping in. So I would go to bed at 10, waking up at 10, so doing 12-hour sleeps. Within about 3 months of doing that, I had caught up my sleep deficit that I had. And I had no aches, no pains. My clarity of thought was back. I was sharp again. And I realized at that point, sleep is very important. And then there's a whole a chapter of sleep where going to sleep after 10, every minute after 10 that you're not asleep, you're eating into your deep sleep. And then I've realized, crap, I need to start sleeping more. So I started to blackout blinds, changing the bed sheets so that they were more all natural fabrics, using different pillows, different blankets, just everything and anything I could do. I bought an air purifier as well, that Hardman's in the back, everything that you could think of I did to help me sleep. What else did I do? I made sure that I stopped using my phone after 7, 8 o'clock. That was it. No more phone, turned it off. I tried to read books, but then this happens when your sugar's been so high and you get it back to a normal range or vice versa, you can't see properly. Your muscles in your eyes, they start to spasm. So you're trying to read a book and you physically just can't see the words. So I was trying to read, but I couldn't. And then I was getting depressed about that. There's so many things that emotionally was like a roller coaster. But I just had this thing I don't care what happens. I'm going to reverse this no matter what. And then after 6 months, went to get my blood test. I had started a job, a small job that I was doing just to sort of keep my mind active because I was bored. As a guy in his prime, that has you can have hobbies, but you need something to do all day. You just can't sit there doing nothing.
Purpose, yeah.
So I got a job doing something fun, and I had my 6th month and then a yearly blood test, and they were like, "You're an anomaly. We don't know what's wrong with you. You should have diabetes. The way you were, you should be high, but you're basically back to base level, optimal levels." And I was like, "Can I stop taking my tablets?" They go, "Yeah, but you still might have diabetes type 1.5, which is a progressive disease that kills off the beta cells that gets worse over time. So you might have that." And I go, "Why?" We've tested a C protein or something like that, and it's coming up as normal. It's within the normal range, so we don't know. So we're gonna have to monitor you. I was like, I'm going to discharge myself for my mental health. I'm going to invest in these things. If my A1C reaches a level where it's considered diabetic, and I think it's anything over 6.5, I'll come back and we'll talk. If it doesn't do that, I won't contact you. And they were like, "We will recommend you doing that because even good, well-controlled diabetes can cause problems."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't care. My mental health is more important. I do not want to keep thinking about this forever. Mm-hmm. I'd rather it kill me when I'm 70 than worry about it now. That's my choice." And they were like, "Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. Do what you want to do." So that's what I've been doing. I've just been monitoring it for the last 2 years. But I've said to myself, if by year 7 it stays within that, I will write a book about what I did. So people that are young like me that get diagnosed, they've got some sort of reading material that they can use alongside their healthcare. Because those 6 months of not working, taking the tablets, getting my sugars back down to where they needed to be, and then implementing lifestyle changes that I'm keeping up to with now, that's what's helped me do this. It wasn't like I'm a herbalist and I've been drinking Chinese tea to bring my sugars down. It's I used what they gave me. I got to a base level. And for me, I don't need to go back to tablets. Yeah. If I was to go back to eating burger and chips and stuff every day, and junk food, I probably would, because my body now has got to a point where it's not responding to insulin unless I do exercise. If I stop exercising for a month, which happened when I was ill, I started seeing those spikes again. So it's there. It's something that I can control, but it's still there.
Just because that's so powerful what you did, and you're experimental with your own health. For people that aren't as, as investigating as yourself, and daring to just go outside the norm, I would say, as a little disclaimer, please seek medical advice.
Yeah, 100%.
Seek medical advice until Aaron's book comes out.
No, always seek medical advice, because I'm not professional. I'm one guy. and this is my
But
journey.
it's incredible what you did.
There's going to be people out there that have pulled out their own teeth and gone, yeah, I've done it. I saved myself
Of course.
a trip to the dentist. Doesn't mean that's the right thing to do.
So, like, you know, you get hunger pangs and sweet little
I don't.
cravings. You don't? Oh, wow.
So you do for the first 6 weeks. After that, you don't get them. Literally, it's like a drug. It's like coffee. For the first 3 to 4 days, it's horrible. After that, you kind of don't care. But when you go back to it after 3 months, it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
I felt euphoric for the whole day. Like literally, I was on cloud 9 for that whole day, because you just have you've been working at that level for like 3 months, and then caffeine is just, it's like a wonder drug. It just allows you to get through things that are normally mentally sort of abrasive with ease. It's like quantum computing.
It's full circle. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, and the irony is, in that year out, I met the founder of Barfia.
Oh, yes.
Because she wanted some advice on a coffee machine and coffee, and I told her what had happened, and she is like, "You need to get her on this podcast."
What's her name?
Sam.
She's the CEO of Barfia.
Yeah, she's the everything. She's the creator.
Nice.
So
Shout out, Sam.
yeah, I will try to make that happen, right?
Okay.
So she's got stories that will blow you away, Sonny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I won't. If I try to tell them, I won't do them justice. But like, she is somebody that just doesn't give up. You could tell her she needs to make £1 million within 6 weeks. She will find a way.
Oh, wow.
She's done things that I couldn't do, and it's really impressive to see. But I told her what had happened, and she was just like, "Yeah, doctors are just going to tell you to take tablets for the rest of your life. You've reversed it." Anyway, coffee. Spoke to her about coffee. Got everything designed. Went there, like showed her how it worked, and she was like, "You're like me. You're a doer. I like that." And then she's like, "What do you think we should do with with Barfia? Like, what's you've had?" I told her about the cafe. I was like, "You should turn it into like a coffee shop and whatnot." And she was like, "Oh, I'm trying to do that, but at the same time, I don't want to lose what's special about it, which is the fusion Barfia and whatnot."
And they do fusion Barfia, don't they? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's traditional Indian sweets mixed with traditional English or Westernized confectionery, and she was
like a Punjabi Willy Wonka, isn't she?
Exactly. And I'll take it to the factory one of the days. It is literally like being in Willy Wonka's factory. There's like weird and wonderful things happening in each corner, right? And yeah, she that whole thing happened where now we've built something together, and we've just launched a store in Harrow, like a concept store. She had a store in Hayes that basically had the first concept, but Harrow is the first realization of what it could be.
Nice.
And we're opening about 15 stores in the next 18 months. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan. As I've learned, it's very, very difficult.
Sam will find a way.
Yeah, Sam's found a way, but it's just difficult because there's so many external pressures. You can have all the will in the world, but bureaucracy is the biggest killer of joy, I found. And councils and just, yeah. But it will happen. So, yeah, I've bought you some. Bought you some to try.
I was wondering what that bag was. So this is
from Barfia, Wolverhampton, and big shout out to Manpow if you're listening.
A lovely box.
Yeah, she's so yeah. There's a little like a card that will tell you what the flavors are.
Okay.
So it's got pictures.
Nice. So we got banoffee Barfi.
What's banoffee?
So that's banana and toffee. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
So birthday cake, blueberry, bubblegum, butterscotch, candy floss, coconut, Eton mess. Ooh, okay. Nice. And he's got the traditional Koya milk cake. This sounds nice. I mean, it's got Skittles. You got a Skittles Barfi. I want to try the Skittles.
Hopefully there's a Skittles one in there, man, pal.
Let's have a look. So
it is top right. I can see it. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. I mean, which one do you want to try? Here's the menu.
I would like to say that Sam spent like 3 months developing a coffee for this.
She developed a coffee for
the Barfia, yeah.
Okay.
And she rejected all the good stuff and the bad stuff. She's like, I want it like this. Got to it, and she was like, this is the one. So when you have this with our coffee, or her coffee, should I say, it is like a match made in heaven.
Hey, Sam, this is your Skittle Barfi. I'm about to try. Would you like to have some, by the way?
I'm good.
Sure,
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Can you taste the rainbow?
Okay. I'm getting a lot of Barfia, and then I'm getting subtle hints of not Skittles, like the sweet. I'm getting Skittle kind of like essence.
Yeah.
There's like a very hint, because I was expecting it to be just Skittle, Skittle, Skittle. That's really nice. That is. That's actually how I would want my Skittle flavored Barfia.
Now
It's not
imagine that.
overpowering. It's still got the Barfia essence. Ooh, that's very smart to do that.
Imagine that with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. But the way that it's made, it's I shouldn't tell too much because our competitors are listening. But we get all of our milk powder from Normandy, so it's high fat milk, and it's got a natural vanilla note to it, which you can probably taste. And that's one of the secrets. Obviously, we make it fresh. It's all handmade, so you can't build machines to make this product. We've tried. It has to be made by hand by artisans, which is why it is so good.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so good. So it's enjoy, go through the flavors. I want to hear some DMs about why you like it and what you don't like. And
That is very clever. Very, very clever.
yeah, well, we're going to be coming to a city near you. So yeah, wherever there's Barfia, there'll be Singh Beans coffee, I guess.
I'm very intrigued to try all those flavors now. I mean, again, where did the idea come from to infuse these? Because it's a bit risky. Now, if you look at our culture, Bita is a big part of, whenever there's a celebration, let's bring in the sweets. Whenever there's a celebration, bring in the sweet. Now, for you to then introduce modern ideas and again, we go back to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory kind of idea and trying to experiment. How have the elders of our culture, have they accepted Barfia, and are they a bit more like, oh yes, we like this? There's a hint of something else here.
Some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do. Some people, I mean, even some of the youngers, they prefer traditional stuff. But it's like anything, right? It's different. But the whole purpose of it was to showcase who we are. We aren't Punjabi because we live in the UK. We have the essence of Punjabi in us, but we don't fit in with the West either because we have that Punjabiness in us. So it's about bringing that together in something that you can consume, and it's about the next generation when they come in and almost like Willy Wonka, they're in the bar and they can see all the different Barfies and, oh, mummy, I want that one, and then they get to try it and it's like amazing because kids and sugar, right? That's the whole thing. And Sam will tell you all the stories when she's here about how it came to fruition. But her background was baking. She was a baker, and she also used to work in Heathrow as a baggage handler, manager. Like she used to manage the baggage handlers, and this was her passion, and it just became this. It became big, and now it's global. So
I'm getting like bits that are popping out in my teeth, and absolutely amazing. When you leave, I'm going to devour that box.
There's a popping candy one, which is absolutely delicious.
Really?
I think the most popular one, because at Diwali you can't get it. It's like runs dry. Like
it's really sought after. Yeah,
we sold out last year. We had a new website and everything. We thought, oh, we're going to be ready for this year. Sold out. Literally run out of Barfia. We couldn't make it fast enough, so we just said to everyone, listen, we've had a great year. Let's take a couple of weeks to a break now because people are just ordering it like no one's business. So yeah, we've upped the capacity that we've got to deliver this year. But the most popular flavor at Diwali was probably I think it was mango and coconut, which doesn't sound nice, but it's
not what that does. I love both those.
Some people, you like them separately, but to bring them together, it's a bit of a weird combination. But it's
amazing,
flying. Yeah,
I would never have thought to put Skittles with Barfia together, but that was amazing. That's really nice.
Yeah, there's something about the base. It's like, the way I describe it might be weird. It's like ice cream, the texture, and it's got that taste without the coldness.
Oh, okay.
So imagine vanilla ice cream with a hint of Skittles.
That is exactly what I got. You are right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, it is completely different to what people think of Barfia. They're thinking of laddus or besan or koya. This is completely different, but we call it Barfia for that reason. It's not Barfia, it's Barfia.
And do they do anything else like jalebi?
Yeah, so she does apple
flavored jalebi.
Apple
and is
cinnamon.
It sour, like apple soury?
Yeah, like apple cheese. I think it was apple crumble flavored Barfia. I mean, apple crumble jalebi, salted caramel gulab jamun. There was a kheer that we've done. So there's loads of amazing things that we do.
When I'm editing this episode, I'm going to put timestamps Okay, and the timestamp's going to literally go, how I overcame diabetes. Skittle flavored jalebi. Well, apple crumble flavored jalebi. So that's crazy so temptation is just in front of you at all times. Now you're working with Barfia. So do you find yourself indulging a little bit every now and again? And
so I always take my cousin Kieran with me, Sandu. So if you're listening, Kieran, this is a shout out to you. She's always filming clips and she's always there to help out. And we were there once when they were making a fresh batch of pistachio, and it came out like ice cream, and it was hot and warm. And the chef was like, "Do you want some?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he gave us to it. You know, like when you go to the fair, they just give you like a dollop of ice cream, and we just sat there with these little plastic wood spoons, whatever they were, and we just eat it. And that's the only time I've indulged. When I used to do go to the shops and just make sure everything's in order, I'd have to have a little bit. So that's the only sort of time. But yeah, when she brings a new flavor out, yeah, I'm definitely like, she brought out some baklava. Sonny, I don't eat sweets. If I see baklava, I'm having it, right? The one in Harrow, they had chocolate, they had traditional, and they also had this extra crispy, like it was just extra everything. I had all of it. I just couldn't help. But I did a lot of it. I worked out after that, so I made sure I paid for my sins. But the baklava is just on another level because it's made the same loving way, artisan way. So there's more stuff to come. There's going to be food, like snacks and stuff, like loaded fries is going to be a part of it.
And how does Singh Beans fall into this?
We're going to be doing the coffee with them.
Yeah, so it's going to be a collaboration. Are you going to maybe perhaps bring out a coffee that complements Barfi specifically?
So Sam's developed it. So we're not like, Sam's done everything. We're just kind of like at the back of it. We've helped develop it.
Okay.
But Sam's come up with the concept of what coffee she wants. And it's a dark roast. So it's like quite bitter, but not to the point where it's nasty. It's like a dark chocolate kind of bitter.
Oh, okay.
And it complements that creamy, rich taste. You know that taste you got in your mouth now?
Yeah.
When you wash it down with the coffee, it's unreal.
Yeah, 100%.
So instead of biscuits and tea, you've got Barfi and coffee.
Yeah.
So next time you've got Peroni over, we'll hopefully have the samosa, the spring rolls, and the Barfi, plus the coffee to go with it.
Oh man, I'm so hungry right now for all of this.
But yeah, it's
apple crumble flavored jalebi sounds astonishing. Fair play. If we were to someone wanted to buy Barfia and like the coffee that's going to be complementing it, all the bits and bobs that go with it, where can we find it?
So if you want to buy Barfia, you can visit a local store. So we've got about 15 stores at the moment currently. But if you're in a place that doesn't have a store nearby, or you can't bother to go to the store, we have an online platform. So you can just go to barfia.com and you can buy everything Barfia sells there. And it's next day delivery. If you want to buy the coffee, go to singbeans.co.uk if you're based in the UK, or singbeans.com if you're based in Canada, and you can get the coffee.
Beautiful. I like that. I really like that. Aaron, how has your experience been on the Appauling Podcast?
It's been a blast. I wish I could spend another 3-4 hours talking to you, but we'll have to save the rest of these conversations for next time.
Part 2, yeah?
100%.
I like it. When you open up your own coffee shop, what do you think? A Singh Beans, like just Singh Beans coffee shop. I've still got hope for a Singh Beans coffee shop.
I think we need to get Singh Beans in here first.
Yeah, let's
sort you out with a proper coffee machine.
Yeah. Nice, I like that. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us on the Appauling Podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure, brother.
Thank you.
Take care.